So on the left, right there is my parents' property, and then on the right is part of it that we've pulled off, split out of that and bought as where we're putting our house. Uh, we were trying to determine the best path for a driveway. We want to keep the driveway up on high ground and on terraces as much as possible to minimize the amount of dirt work and minimize the number of shotguns and water problems that we will have going forward. It made the driveway a little bit longer, but I think in the long run it'll be better, uh, just because we won't have to worry about water as much. We're also still finalizing where we want the house to go and in which direction we want it to sit. It's also June 1st, which is our anniversary. It's 25 years, so silver anniversary. And we decided to do our gift exchange where our new house is going to be. I got a soundwave visualization of this song that she sang for us on our wedding day. And since it's the silver anniversary, I got her pearls, of course. Then we celebrated with a glass of Prosecco as we sit there and pondered um, what it's going to be like in our new future home. All right, here Dad is using his 15-foot batwing mower to mow the trail for where the path of where the driveway is going to be, because that way the heavy equipment guys can just use that mowed path as the path of the driveway. We didn't get any video of it, but basically what they did is they came in with a bulldozer with a 6-way blade that allowed them to strip off all of the grass and vegetation and also put a crown uh, on the driveway so that when we got to this point, which we call dumping money out on the ground, um, it wouldn't take near as much rock to make a good solid road, and the water would run off of it and not run down the middle and wash it away. Uh, we're sitting over at the farm on the other side of the road, and every time a dump truck comes in, I think each dump truck load was like 300 and some dollars, uh, almost $400, and each time they came in, Amy's like, "There goes $300. There goes $300." So, fun director, trying to make trying to make it fun to dump money out on the ground. No, but in all seriousness, getting a good base to your road before you start dumping gravel on, and then getting some good gravel on early and getting it packed in, uh, it's definitely worth it. It will make the road last longer and just be nicer, and you won't have any of the construction trucks getting stuck. It's definitely worth it to get a good road in at first. We're using 2-inch base here, which is 2-inch rock on down to all the way down to dust, so 2 inches and less. And what that does is it packs in really good and creates a good base. That's the name, 2-inch base. And they do a really good job of spreading the gravel with just the chains and their tailgates, um, but they still came across the top of it with a grater just to smooth it out even more and get it all uniform. One of the reasons that graders work like they do is the front wheels are so far out in front and spaced out from the rear wheels that as the front wheels uh, go over any irregularities, like drop into a hole or go over a bump, uh, only half of that is translated to the blade because it's sitting in the middle, And if you have gravel pushed up like they do, then any low spots then are also filled in with that, as the front wheels are already beyond that. And so the length of the grader actually matters, and it keeps it to where you don't get any chatter, and it makes everything smooth. So here we have our rough layout of our house with our fence posts. The T-posts are there, just kind of giving us an idea of how we want the house laid out and at what angle, where we want the garage to be, and kind of giving us an idea of how the house is going to look, what the views are going to be like. And now Stingbrooks are back, and they're getting ready to dig in a trench for our water and electric. We needed 36 inches of separation between our electric and our water lines. And so this is a pretty good sized excavator, and it has either a 42 or a 44-inch bucket. So in a single trench, we're able to easily get our 36 inches of separation there if we just put one on one side of the trench, electric on one side of the trench, and water on the other. And here in Kansas, the frost line is definitely above 3 feet, but usually we typically go for 3 feet as our frost-free line. So we're actually most of the way through there, we're at 4 feet or better. So the electric will go straight up that pole. It'll be on the left side of the trench as we're looking at it now, and then the water will be on the right side of that trench. And here we're actually, they've got the electric line in. That's a coaxial high voltage line, so that'll be 7,200 volts. Like, Mom, I can't get out. Like, Dad, help me out. Get me out of here. So then our water line is actually on the other side of that. Had to dig through a nice, pretty road. It patched up pretty well, though. If you notice here, we have the topsoil. He took 2 scoops. The first scoop that he took out was a shallow scoop of topsoil, and he put it as far away as he could reach. And then the subsoil, he put in closer to the holes so that when we backfill, we'll be able to put the subsoil back in at the lowest level and try to keep some topsoil. So that arena that you see up there in the upper left-hand corner, right by that barn, can't remember how many posts, 104 posts, something like that. We hit limestone on every one of them except 3 posts. So that side of the road, solid sheet of limestone, or at least big enough chunks that it might as well be. And on this side of the road, it's all just shale and clay. So we didn't hit any limestone even digging the basement. So we put in our fence. That fence we pounded in. It's used oil filled pipe. We pounded in posts that we'd cut off of it. We saddled the tops of them and then laid another pipe and welded on a top rail, and then we'll come back.
And so it begins. What you doing, buddy?
Who is this?
Brad.
His mustache looks white.
to grab some Dramamine. So here we're actually in the what will be the basement underneath my future office. Uh, and then looking back that way is the rest of the house, living room, dining room. So we laid out the house with flags at every corner, and then we used paint to paint on the grass. And then he's digging down through right at the paint line. And if you can see, we have a flag right by Amy's arm. We have two flags there, and that's from the front entryway across to the edge of the garage. And the garage is dug out at only at a half depth, so it's going to be like 4 feet down instead of 8 feet down. And so we messed up and forgot that should be another 4 foot bump out right there, which will be the hallway to the garage. And when we started laying out our footers, none of our measurements were working out. We're like, why is this not working? And then we realized that our hole was 4 feet short right there. Thankfully, Brad was still doing some other work for Dad and was able to come back and dig that out for us before he uh, got his excavator out of there. So it wasn't quite as smooth because it didn't have smooth ground to sit on while he was digging it. Um, and so we fought that a little bit with all of the water all the rain that came in late April and May. Part of the problem that you run into and why you saw the bulldozer earlier is just dirt management. He can only swing that dirt so far, and he has to get it out of his way so he can continue working. Here they're just top dressing. That's more than just cosmetic because all that's going to be underneath the backfill eventually. It helps with the water. So just getting all of the ruts and divots and everything out allows the water to run off so it's not just constantly muddy. So next time we will be in the bottom of the hole trying to lay out our footers and get those in as accurately as possible so that we can carry on with the setting the blocks. The footers we want to get within a half inch of where they need to be so that we can get the blocks to within about an eighth inch of where they need to be before we start going up and building the rest of the house. See you next time.